is the premise for my next film, and I'm not quite sure if you picked it up from maybe watching some of my other videos, but I love doing time lapses. But I was struggling to find a decent location. The weather's been pretty shocking, I must admit, and it's been bitterly cold. We're in winter, it's natural. So what I thought was, where can I go? What can I photograph? What can I do time lapses of? So with me living on the edge of the Peak District, I thought, prime example. So what I've done is I bought two maps, two Ordnance Survey maps. One is the Dark Peak, I think it's called, and one is the White Peak. Now I'm not quite sure why they're called Dark Peak and Light Peak, and I don't know if any of you guys out there know why that is. So if you can, please leave a comment below. I'd be really interested to find out why. And then from that, I've then plotted on the boundary or the extents of the Peak District in a highlighter, and then using a combination of the maps and Google Earth, I've found about 15 or 16 great locations where I can go and visit and obviously do my time lapses and a bit of photography. So this morning is my first trip out. I must be mad because it's pretty cold, but the sunrise looks pretty cool over there, and it's casting some sunlight on that hill, which I'll show in a second. So my first location this morning is at Burbage Hill, Burbage Edge, sorry. And what I'll do is, as usual, I'll put the what three words location on the screen so you can see exactly where I'm stood, exactly where this rock is. The car is literally 20 yards away, and I've got a cup of coffee in there waiting for me. So this is what hopefully my next video will come out with some good time lapses. Now I'm not a professional in any way, shape or form. I'm still learning, but I love doing time lapses, and I watch some of you guys out there on YouTube. But let me just show you. Let me just undo that there. Look at that sun. I don't know if you can see it on the hill, but the sunrise is coming up over the top there, and the sun all across there. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera. But what I'll do is I'll show you my kit, and this is what I'll be using for all my time lapses. And what I've got here is obviously my trusty old Nikon D7200, and I've got that sat on an Edelkrone slider, a mechanical slider. I have done a few time lapses before using this, and I think the results are pretty good. As I say, I'm trying to perfect it. So this obviously is horizontal motion, left and right, and I've got it sat on a tilt kit. So what this does, this rotates horizontally, but this rotates vertically. So you can, for instance, start off pointing down, and as it sweeps across, you can then tilt your camera up, which is what I've got it set up to. So at the minute I'm sort of looking down over there, and it's going to sweep to the right, but the camera's going to pan to the left, and as it goes across, it's going to go up in a sweeping motion. So hopefully, oh, that's pretty cool. So hopefully it'll pick up quite a lot of these cloud movements and the sun coming out. And then over here, try not to break my neck, I've just got my trusty old GoPro 9, just sat on one of the other tripods, just doing a stills time lapse at the same location, of the same spot, looking over the hill there. And then down here on this cliff edge, this rock edge, careful I don't slip because it's a bit cold, is my 360 camera, and they're pretty cool. Them, they are pretty cool, I must admit. If you've not got one yet, or if you're thinking about one, I'd recommend buying one, because I've also got a bracket that I can hang it under my drone, and I'll put a link in the screen there now to one of the videos that I did with the 360 camera hung underneath my drone. It was pretty cool, I must admit. So yeah, so this is where we are. So I've got the time lapse going for about 90 minutes. So I'm going to leave that running, leave my other two cameras running, and then see what the rest of the day brings. Whether I shoot out to the next location, I don't quite know, but if I do, I'll see you there. If not, I'll speak to you in a bit. This morning I've realised how important it is to have a secondary location, because where I wanted to go this morning, it's really foggy, and even though obviously the sun's coming up, it was really dense fog where I wanted to go to, but I didn't really want to hang around and waste time waiting for the fog to clear. So I've shot over to another spot that I had on my list, but obviously it's crept up the order now. So I've come over to Bradfield, and as you come into Bradfield, there's a little humpback bridge that takes you around into the village, and also there's a big village green. So I've just parked up next to the bridge, and if I just turn my camera around, you can see there the bridge there. Come over the bridge through that gate, some stepping stones that I've had to try and get across, and I've set up my GoPro camera down there, and I've got my 360 camera just near that bench, and I'm here with the ducks. There's a few ducks asleep and bits and bobs, and I was going to set up on that little rocky outcrop thing, but I didn't think there'd be much motion in that, so what I've done is I've just set up my Edelkrone slider heel up, where hopefully you can see these plants in the foreground, and as my slider comes across, hopefully these flowers will be in the frame. So yeah, so this is where I am. So when I'm done here, see what time it is, then we'll move on to his next location. Out. This next location is Higger Tor. I've just popped my car down the way there, and I'm walking up this steep hill up to the top. Sun's coming up. It's about 6:30. A view. Hear the birds. If you listen. Don't know what they are in the distance. But yeah, this is Higger Tor, which is what you've just seen with the misty location, which is what I wanted to come here on that day, but it was too foggy. So I shot out to Bradfield, but now I'm here at Higger Tor. This is the first sort of levelling out area. It levels off. Quite a crisp morning, to be fair. A bit frosty underfoot, but time of year, what we're on now, 10th of April. So we'll get to the top, we'll get set up, and I'll come back to you. Just bumped into that photographer. He's been here a while. Oh dear, I think we're a bit out of shape. But I've come onto this top plateau a bit here. Not quite know if this might be of interest. Do a time lapse from. Might be a nice spot to be fair. So yeah, I think I might set up here. Don't know. Just think at least people will be able to see me. I'm doing my time lapse. So yeah, I might set up on here. Take it from there. See how we get on. I'm a bit annoyed with myself because I've set up my I was in the process of setting up my slider, and there's a little sort of nut or bolt that goes into the top of the into one of the heads, and as I was fixing it together, I've ended up cross-threading it, and now I can't get it out or in, so I can't set up my slider to do a panoramic time lapse, which has annoyed me quite a bit. But what I have started to do, just turn my camera around here, I bought a new bit of kit called the Arsenal 2, and I'm just sort of trying that with a time lapse, looking sort of over that rock in the foreground, and as the sun comes round, hopefully it'll pick up the shadows on the shrubbery and bushes and whatever else that's called. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed, but not to worry. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. So we'll see how that one comes out. Plus I've got my drone in the air at the minute doing a hyperlapse. So that's currently doing its thing up in the air there. And I've got my other GoPro over behind that rock. So he's doing his thing, and then I've also got my little 360. Oops. My little 360 just down there. So I'll see how they come out. I'm a bit peeved, like I said, but never mind. Morning guys, hope everyone's well. This next area where I am is in the general location of Burbage still. But I've come down into this small valley, I suppose. You get the edge up there, and also you get Higger Tor, and I think further on is called Walk. So I've just come down into this sort of little lower area. And to be honest, there's not much going on. For me to do a time lapse, the sky's a bit flat. There's no movement in the trees, and there's no sort of big waterfalls or anything. So I think what I'm going to do this morning is just concentrate on a bit of photography and get a couple of drones in the air, see what pictures I can get from up in the air. So yeah, so I thought about first of all setting up on this rock. Oh. Looking out over there, I think be a nice picture of the tree. I think that's fallen over actually, to be fair. And the trees up in the distance there with the river flowing away from us. That'll be quite nice. And maybe another shot looking back up there. The sun's on its way up, and I think it'll probably come up over here, I reckon, on the right, over the trees, when it does finally come up. So I think I'm going to concentrate just on a bit of photography today. But yeah, I nearly broke my ankle coming down. It's quite heavy on my gear, went over my ankle just around the corner, and I thought, oh god, that's it, I've not even started. Anyway, never mind. So yeah, I'll get set up, speak to you in a minute. It's not been a very productive morning, to be honest. I suppose you get mornings like this. I've had my drones in the air, and I've got quite a decent set of photos from the air. I've had my time lapse going, but the software kept failing, it wouldn't connect to my app. So that's failed, but I've got my 360 in the water, just down on the edge there. That's doing the time lapse. Just around that little whirlpool that comes around the corner, so I'll see what that looks like. Yeah, it's not been very productive, so I'm getting a bit hungry and thirsty. So I think I'm going to pack up, head home, and then maybe next week or one day next week head out to my next location. So I'll see you there. Out.
This next location that I've come to is again on the Burbage Edge location, but I'm at the bottom end. So I've come in through that car park, through the gate there that you've just seen, and I'm just walking up this path. Because around this corner there's a bridge, a little bridge that goes over the brook that was next to, that you've just watched. But this morning there's cows grazing. And there's a guy here, look. I don't know if you can make him out on the path. I'm not quite sure how he's going to react to me. So, oh, there's another one coming as well, look. Are they violent cows? Are you supposed to let them know you're here? Or can we just walk past them? Morning! He's a big lad. Morning! You can give me a second glance. Well, that's the road there, you can hear going down to Higher Tor. And at the end of that bend there, it's called the surprise, because as you go around that corner, you get a big surprise, because it's a cracking view off that end. There's loads of cows on here. I didn't know this were grazing. Oh, it's all down. I didn't know this were grazing territory or grazing area. Yeah, look. Morning. Must admit, it's a first for me. Well, that up there is Higger Tor. This one, oh, sorry. Oh, I don't know. That could be Call Walk, sorry. And Higger Tor is behind there, because that's Burbage Edge running along there. So I think that's Call Walk, and I think Higger Tor is behind there. So I'm heading up this road path, and the stream is not far from where those trees are. So we'll get up there and we'll set up, and hopefully I won't go over my ankle. Speak to you in a minute. It's great this, isn't it? You plan where you're going to go for a couple of weeks, and when you get here you see two people already there. Don't know if you can make it out, but there's the bridge down the bottom. You probably won't be able to. There's a dog, and there's two people there, and I wanted to do a time lapse of this bridge. So I'm like, oh bloody hell, I don't know if they're going to be there all morning. So I'll get down there and see what they're doing. If not, bloody hell, unless you just start walking a dog and they've got a phone, just stop to take a couple of pictures. So I'll see what they're doing. Yeah, those two people have luckily wandered off, so just set up next to this bridge. And the sun comes up and goes round that way, so I'm thinking maybe set my time lapse up looking there, so as the sun comes up it changes the shadows on the trees and things. Again, there's not much action in the sky, it's as flat as a fart, but oh well, you got to work with what you've got. So I'm going to set up here, get my time lapse going, get my drones in the air as well, see if I can get some aerial shots again, and see what we get. Speak to you in a bit. Well, that was quite productive. I've had both my drones in the air. What a morning. Not a cloud in the sky, a few vapour trails from a few planes. Not a cloud in the sky. The sun's now quite high, and I've had both drones up. I've got some decent pictures. Done a few little short videos as well, just come out of the sun. But yeah, I mean, what an amazing little setting. this little bridge over the brook, which is Burbage Brook. And I've got my other little GoPro doing a time lapse on like a turntable, which you can see down there. So that's doing a time lapse over there. Whatever reason, if that's any good, I don't know. I'll have a look. But yeah, no, it's been enjoyable. I think there's about 20 minutes left on my main time lapse. So hopefully that'll pick up a decent set of pictures so I can put together. But I'm amazed that no one's been past. I mean, there's been a few people walking around with dogs and bits and bobs that they've all stayed on that top path. But there's not one person come over this bridge, or a cow, or a sheep. And I was thinking, oh God, it's going to spoil it, you know, people walking over the bridge and animals coming over the bridge. But not one person has walked over it while I've been here, so I've been pretty lucky. So fingers crossed I'll get it all finished before I move on to my next location. See you in a bit. Well, that was quite enjoyable. Got my time lapse done, hour and a half. Unluckily, there were some walkers that came past when there was about 4 minutes left, so I'm quite lucky with that. I've got a decent amount of pictures from my drones, and also I've done another couple of time lapses with my other GoPros and my Insta360, so I'll have a look at those. But one piece of advice, and I'm sure you guys must already do it out there, but unless it's just me, do updates. Check your updates, check your apps. Do you need to do any updates before you go out? Because I've wasted about half an hour waiting for updates. Oh God. And the signal's not great. And of course, not that I'm against the clock, but you know, I don't want to spend all day out here. Update after update. Really annoying, but never mind. On another note, I've finally opened up my Etsy store. I'm starting to put photos on there piece by piece. So if you want to click onto my About section on my YouTube channel, scroll down to the bottom where all the social links are, and obviously you'll see Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now it should also say Etsy, and you can go pop along there, have a browse, and of course they're available to purchase, free postage, and I can sort all the printing out. So please take a look at that. And now I'm off to the next location. Speak to you in a bit. Hi guys. Well, this next location I wanted to come to was a place called Mother Cap, but for some reason the gate into the car park was locked, so I couldn't get. So luckily I had a second location in mind, so I started to shoot over there, but then I saw a pull-in, so I pulled into this pull-in, parked my car, had a look on the map, see where I was in about location to this Mother Cap, and it seemed I could get out. Well, I thought I could, but I've come up that path, which, believe you me, is a climbing half with all this gear. But I've come into this, I think this is called Millstone Edge, which is just like a massive rock escarpment or rock edge. You get a nice view, I must admit, over there. But I think what I'm going to do is just push on round that corner, see if there's a, because I need to be up there. Mother Cap is just at the top of that, and that's where I wanted to do my time lapse, and I think it's perfect for clouds today. So I'm just going to push on round there, see if I can get a path up and have a look. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do, because from here to my next location is a good 20 minutes drive. So we'll see how we get on pushing around that corner. Well, I made it. I came round that edge of that face, which was a bit scary because it was a bit steep. Came over that stile and I'm coming up this path, and I'm hoping Mother Cap is at the top of here, because that's what my phone's telling me. So, and my ankles give me a bit of grief as well. So, we'll see what it's like when we get to this path. It must be mad. Just climb these few last rocks. Let's get to the top of here. Oh, my ankle. Yeah, my ankle's giving me a bit of corned beef, as we say up north. So I don't want to go over on it again. Ah, there we are, look. Mother Cap. Well, coming around that way, coming around from over there where my car is, round the bottom of that, up there, up that little path, that took me 45 minutes. Whereas if the car park had been open, which is just down that hill, it took me about 20. So thanks, Sheffield Council. That's great. So I think I'll set up my time lapse and get things moving. Wow. Well, that's your time lapse set up for an hour. I was going to do it for an hour and a half, 90 minutes, but it took me so long to get up here because I had to come up that other route. And the car park, like I say, is just down over the bottom of that hill, but it was shut. But just to give you an idea where I was in the last location, just clamber over these rocks. That there is Coal Walk, and that there is Higger Tor. And I was down in the valley, just the other side of Coal Walk there. So it's just like one big sort of open area, and you can access it from quite a few different routes. But it looks quite nice from the top of here. And the other location that I had was Lady Bower, the wall where the water flies over the top of the wall when the reservoir's full. But like I said, from where I am to where that was 20 minutes. So I thought, oh, there's no point. So I thought I'd just try and make my way up here. But that is over there in the mist. Somewhere over there. Down here through Higher Tor, along and round and over there. But that's for another day. It's quite nice over there. So yeah, I'm going to get my drones up while that's doing its thing. And I'll see if I can get back down to my car safely instead of breaking my neck. Fun and games. time lapse is nearly finished. There's about 6 minutes left. I've got my other 2 cameras, just doing a 360 time lapse and one on the other GoPro. Just try and get a bit of cloud movement. It looks quite foggy over there as well. It's quite decent with the cloud formation, so I'll see what that one comes out like. But yeah, then I've got to try and find my way back down to my car, which I think is down that way. Instead of shooting down there, which is the easier route, which was the car park shut, I've got to find my way back over the top of that brow of that hill, which will be fun. But anyway, never mind. So yeah, not long. I'll pack up and then maybe shoot off to the next location, or I might go back home, to be honest, because I'm hungry. Plus it's getting a bit cold up here, so my hands are freezing. So I'll see how we get on. So I'll speak to you in a minute. Yeah, just went back to my car, and when I came this morning, I've just realised that I walked across the top of that. Look at the drop. So there's a path. Look at the top there, near that rock. And I think you walk along the top of there, so I walked across the top of that to get to where I've been this morning, but that's mad. But luckily I found a lower level path that I can hopefully find my way back to my car through all this bracken and trees. So hopefully this will take me back down to where my car is. Fingers crossed. Oh, but as I'm talking to you, I've got to a dead end. I can hear voices, but I think I've got to go up that. So I'll go up that, see how I get on. And I don't know why I didn't spot this morning. I've just seen these old buildings, ruins, whatever they may be. Oh, there's one up there, look as well. What's that? God knows what these used to be used for. If anyone might have an idea, please put it in the comments below. Oh, look at this. So, yeah, don't know what this is. It's quite a drop. Yeah, I don't know. Looks a bit ominous, sat there. Well, let's just go down here, see what we get at the bottom. And I'll walk back along that path, look. Yes, this is these buildings, look. I don't quite know what they could have been used for around here. Don't know, first time I've seen them. Strange, just a concrete structure sat in the middle of a forest. Don't know, strange. Anyway, I'm shooting off. Oh yes, made it. I didn't get lost. Car's just down there, look, and the road's just there as well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought I was going to get lost, but no, I've made it. Cup of tea. Ticket paid, £8.29. Not bad. Get my stuff out. Let's get moving. Hi guys. This next location I'm in is Derwent. I'm not sure how familiar you all are with Derwent, but there's a few reservoirs, and the one that I'm heading for just now, which is just at the bottom of this road here, I don't know if you can see the road and the wall at the bottom, just there. Obviously this is the overflow, so when the reservoir gets really full in winter, the water cascades over the wall. Now unfortunately, as I thought, we've not had that much rain, so there's no water coming over the top of the wall. It's quite a nice, serene, quiet spot. So I'm going to set my time lapse up, find a decent spot to try and get some bit of cloud movement, but yet again it's a bit flat. The sun's just coming up over the top. It's rather nice. The birds there, look at that, that's quite striking, quite imposing. So I don't quite know where I'm going to go yet. I don't quite know what because I think you can get up round the back there, up round the wall. On the right hand side you can climb up some steps up there and get up round the back of the wall. But we'll see if we can find a decent spot, and let's get set up. Yeah, I've just had a realisation, to be honest. I wouldn't stand a chance if anything gave way in that wall. The amount of water that's behind that wall, I wouldn't stand a chance. I'll take you up there in a second and show you the amount of water that's up behind that wall. It is enormous. It's a massive dam, massive reservoir. But it's been stood here for hundreds of years, don't get me wrong. But if anything were to give way, that'd be it. That'd be it. Pretty daunting, to be honest. Quite majestic, but it's a pretty daunting thought. So I've just come up the road there, And this is at the top of the reservoir, so that's the top of the wall in there. So I was just the other side of that tower. And then here is the reservoir. But as you can see, the water's quite low down from the top of the wall. So I'll just walk a bit higher up, see if I can get a better shot. So this is the reservoir at the top. And you can see the water there. It's quite low over the top of the wall. So you can imagine how deep it is in winter. I think the water will probably come over these columns and up to this water's edge here. But you can imagine how deep it'll be in winter to cascade over there. I mean, what's that look? That looks probably about 4 or 5 metres, that. So you can see how little rain we've had, to be honest. So yeah, so that's the other side of the reservoir wall where I was this morning. So let's shoot off to the next location. Hi guys, well I've just got to my next location, which is Bamford Edge. Look at that for a view, pretty spectacular. I don't know what that quarry is though. This is Bamford below us, and the peaks stretch out over yonder. But I'm going to climb over this stile and make my way up to that edge up there. But I think Bamford Edge is a bit further on. But I did see some other cars a bit further down, so unless they know something I don't, because I've not even been here before, unless they know something I don't, and there's a quicker way, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to follow this path up here up to the top there. I think it then cuts left and then shoots up to that peak, so I'm going to try and work my way up there and see what we get when we get to the top. This last little bit, it's quite a bit of a pull, quite steep up here. Turn that around. You won't be able to appreciate how steep this is, but well worth the view. Some rain has been forecast for this morning, about 9 o'clock, and I think now it's about 6:15, and I've got my time lapse to do, which is, I like to do hour and a half, so I'm under a bit of pressure, but not too much. So the ridge there is just over the top, and to you. So we'll go up there and see how it looks and set up. See you at the top. Well, I've made it to the top. That's the start of Bamford Edge. I ain't going no further. Got my heart's coming out my chest. That is a climb. I mean, it might not look like it on camera, but the car is just somewhere there, and I've just followed that path up to where these sheep are, and then come up the rocks. That's a climb. Right in the distance there you get another edge. I think that's Stanage, because I think that over there is Higger Tor, that to the right is called Walk, and I think that is Stanage Edge. Not this close one, the one in the distance, like the very top one, not this closer one. This is Bamford Edge, but there's a guy camping over there as well. If I just drop down here. Let's just show you off the edge of that. Oh, that's a decent 20-foot drop. So I'll be careful. And yeah, I think that this is Bamford Edge as you continue on. But yeah, it's quite a trick on there. That is Win Hill, just there in the distance. And you can see the clouds coming in as well over yonder. So I think I'll get my time lapse set up. And then straight in that. Get my time lapse set up. Maybe on this rock. And do a sweeping time lapse of that view. Oh, it's quite nice over there to be honest, with the sun out. Everything else. But yeah, this is Bamford Edge. So I'll get my time lapse going and see what we can see. I'm out of breath. I can tell I've not done this for a while. I've just this second started my time lapse and the rain's coming in. So I don't want to step down it way a bit. Yeah, look, the rain's coming in over the hills here, and it's starting to drizzle. But it wasn't forecast till 9 o'clock. It's about 6:45, so I don't quite know what they're doing with forecast. But I don't know. I might stick it out for another 15-20 minutes. See how we go. We're just about to get my drone up. My Mini 2. I'm just about to get my drone up, and yeah, it started to come in. So I'll see how it continues. And then if not, I might have to pack up and go to try again on another day. I suppose one thing you can't control is Mother Nature. Oh well, never mind. As I say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Speak to you in a minute. I've just had my Mini 2 up there. Got some decent pictures of the clouds down there in the valley and the peak of the sunlight coming up over the ridge there. I've also got my other GoPro doing a stills time lapse, as what you've already seen previous. And just down here I've got my 360 camera again, doing a time lapse of over the rocks there, and you can rotate that round on the app, and you can do some amazing and weird and wonderful effects with the app on the Insta camera. So I don't quite know what the weather's going to do, because the rain did stop, and it obviously looks quite grey over yonder. So I don't know whether to leave it for another 10 or 15 minutes, see what happens to the weather before I get my Mavic up. But there's 38 minutes left on my time lapse, so I want that obviously to run its course. So I'll see what happens with the weather. Well, it's quite good. Managed to get my time lapse finished before the rain's coming in. It's greying up a bit. There's flecks of blue sky though. So I've now got to find my way up and not break my neck going back down to my car. I think I'm going to shoot over to my last location just to see what it's like over there. It's other side of Buxton, so it's about an hour from here, and it's what, like 8:15. So I'll see if I can shoot over there, see what the weather's like. If not, obviously I'll have to save it for another day. But my next location is it's the last one. So I want to thank you if you've got this far, because I know this is quite a lengthy film, but I like to show you where I go on these little trips and these little adventures. Oh, I don't think I can get down that lot, to be honest. Yeah. But no, I like to show you where I go on these little adventures, so that if you like the look of any of them, or if you think, oh, that'd be interesting to do a bit of photography or whatever, or get your drone up, or whatever equipment you may have, or even to go out for a ramble somewhere. So I mean, this guy, I just said hello to that. I don't know if you can see that little speck on the horizon there. I just said hello to him, and he's come down and gone along this path just along here up on the top of that ridge, and I'm assuming it all leads across to Burbage Edge. I'm having to film this last bit on my phone because both my cameras have just died on my GoPros, and there was like 30% left, so I don't quite know. So there's no stabilisation on this, so I apologise for that. But no, that was quite a decent little time lapse there, and I got my Mavic up, my Mini up, take some photos and a few videos and stuff. But I'd like to show you where I'm going on these little adventures, and I know this one's been quite a lengthy video, but I give you the what 3 words location so that if you want to come out and try the same spots where I've been, you know, by all means please do. So yeah, if you've got this far, I want to thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see if I get on to the next location, which is over near Buxton, which is about an hour from here. But I know rain was forecast for about 9 o'clock, and it's about 8:15 now, so I just want to try and get down to my car as quick as I can before the rain comes in. Shoot out to my next location, or if not, I'll have to probably go out another day later on in the week. So I'll see what happens. Evening. I've come out to do a recce of my last location, and I'm hoping from the quick little short intro videos there that you can tell where I am. Those who can't, I'm come over to Parkhouse Hill, and next to it I think it's Parkhouse Hill in the Peak District. And this is locally known as the Dragon's Back, for obvious reasons. If you look on Google Earth and Google Maps, you'll see that it looks like a bit of a spine, and it sort of looks like they're going down into the ground and back up again, hence the name, the Dragon's Back. Just come out in the sun there because it's quite bright over there, that might be better. And on my left there, that's Parkhouse Hill. Just in the distance over there, that's Parkhouse Hill. And then what I'm wanting to do, there's a van over there, but what I'm wanting to do is I've come out here for a recce, and I'm going to get my drones in the air because I want to do a time lapse of this, obviously this location. Bloody hell, there's a sheep right at the very top. I want to do a time lapse of this location. But I don't want to be on top of one of the hills. I want to be on that one in the distance, which I don't know the name of it, looking at these 2 hills in the background. So I'm just trying to find a way up, get my drone in the air, see if I can find a way to get up onto some surrounding sort of hills to do a time lapse looking over these 2 hills, rather than being on the top. So I'm going to get my drones up in the air, and we'll see what we can see. So I followed the path there, just come down to the bottom, just here, turn left, come down there, and you get to that bridge, and then there's a sign saying no trespassing private land, so obviously you can't go that way. So I think I'm going to take a scooch to this tree and then turn left. So I think this is a public right of way, so I'm going to see where this one takes me and just see if I can. I think I did see a gate just down the bottom of here, so I think I might just make up camp, if you like, and get my drones up, see what we've got down the bottom. just had my Mavic up in the air, and it cut pretty well because it was saying it was windy. Fly with caution, but I've managed to get up over the top of Parkhouse. Got some footage from up there, but I've not been able to get up and around Chrome because I'll be further than 500 metres away, and also the sun will be staring into my face. So I've not been able to go over Chrome, but when I do my time lapse, I obviously want the sun behind me. So the sun is, well, it's 8:30 now, so the sun's setting over the back there. So to do my time lapse, I want to be up on a hill that I showed at the beginning when I got here, or if in the morning the sun's going to be over this side. So I don't know if I can maybe find my way up on top of that hill up there, or even on one of the 3 peaks behind Parkhouse and do the time lapse this way. Because like I say, I don't want to be at the top of the mountain doing my time lapse looking down in the valley. I want the mountains to be in the premise of my final time lapse. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, this one, but I've took some video footage using my Mavic 2 well, tried to do it of both hills, but like I say, I've not been able to get round Chrome. So I'll review the footage, see if I can find any other hills, and I flew over to that one as well over there, see if I can get on top of that one. I don't know if I can or not, so I'll have to review that and then come back again. So fingers crossed I'll find some way and I'll see what I can come up with. Well, after a few weeks of research and looking on various apps and Google Earth and things, I finally found the hill that I need to be at the top of to get my time lapse of Chrome. And where's it gone? Parkhouse in the distance there. Parkhouse, Chrome, and that hill there is called Hollins. And I've just parked at a little place called Hollins Clough, sorry. Parked my car up, just walked through a gate there with loads of cows grazing, and I'm heading up to the top of Hollins Hill. And the sun sets, I think it's 10 to 9, so I'm just trying to make my way around this path, which is down this steep embankment. I think there should be I think there's a road over there, look, you can see the road somewhere in the trees. I think it's a bridge that we cross over down here, a river, and hopefully we'll get to the top in no time at all. Here's the bridge, look. So I've come down that path there, down the hill. Along here, here's the river in the bottom. And then just going to scooch. Oh! On my camera gear. I saw these gates are unlocked though. There's cows grazing in there and all sorts. So let's see what this next gate has in store for us. Oh. That certainly lets people know you're here. Well, I've just got to the top of Hollins Hill, and believe you me, that was a bit tough. That was a bit tough. What with all my bags and things, it was quite a steep climb, but it's well worth the view, I must admit. And you've got Chrome Hill there, and in the distance you've got Parkhouse, and as you can hear, I've set my time lapse up, looking over the valley, which is quite picturesque. It's worth a climb. I've caught my breath back, even the moon's come out to say hello tonight. But I'm just thinking of later, me going back down there with all my bags, and it's quite a steep bit just over the top there, and I don't really want to be doing that in the dark, because I've only got my mobile phone, the torch on my mobile phone. So I'll see what the time lapse comes out like, and then we'll get motoring, get my drones up, get some decent photos and stuff. But as usual, Hear the sheep in the distance. Down in the valley there. Really calm, really peaceful. So yeah, get my drones up and take some shots and see what my time lapse looks like. So I will speak to you in a minute. So that is it. There's 20 minutes left on my time lapse. I've had my drones in there and got some photos and things as I usually do. But that is the final location, or this is the final location for my time lapse video for the Peak District. And I want to thank you if you've got this far. I especially want to thank you because I know this is quite a lengthy film. And I think it's the longest that I've done so far. It's took me 5 months to do this. I started back in March, and the first video you saw up at Burbage when it was freezing cold, that was back in March. And of course now it's just beginning of August. So it's took me 5 months to do it. I've not been out every week. The weather's not been great some days. I know we've had that 40 degree heat wave a few weeks back, but I've enjoyed it. It's been hard work at times. I've had to sometimes struggle to find the motivation to go out and do it, but this is it. This is the final location, and I think what an amazing spot to finish my time-lapse video. I want to say thank you to DJ Wiv for doing the music for me. She's done all the little intros and outros and bits of music in between, so I want to say thank you for that, and please go and check out her Twitter feed. She's always putting music on a program called Audius as well, so go and check her out on there. So thank you for spending your time watching my videos. I know they're not the best, but hopefully it might give you some incentive to come out and try these spots where I am. So if you look at the what 3 words descriptions, you'll be able to see where I've been, where I've set my camera up, and the views that I get. So thank you, and I will see you very shortly on the next one. Out.